Discount Podcast.
Welcome in, you cheap beggars, to Discount, the bargain bin gaming podcast hosted by three people so cheap they are no longer making the hardware component of the podcast. I am Josh, one of your hosts, and plugging into Player 2.
I'm Darren, hello, and trying to shed her pre-owned stock by just throwing it into passing cars.
Hi, it's Karis.
And yes, we're back. It's another episode for free play and freebies.
Yeah, free.
This is our off-fight episode,
Yep.
where we're having a bit more of a chill time, just talking about games and what they've done for February.
February.
My
It's
favourite
the
You're
worst
doing
month.
really well when you're speaking today, aren't you?
I literally cannot say that month correctly.
It feels wrong to say it.
Because I want to pronounce that first R, and it shouldn't be in there.
No, I want to pronounce it February.
Yeah.
But it's Rari.
February. Yeah, I think it's fine. February.
Yeah. My favourite car brand. February.
That was horrific.
Yeah.
I was going to ask how everyone's doing this fine February day.
If you don't know the answer to that, just listen back to the past minute and a half.
But
You'll know.
That general chaotic intro sort of makes it.
Yeah.
Kara's staring longingly into the bottom of a cup of coffee as she tries to recover from her mistakes from last night. And
Don't talk about yourself that way, Josh.
It's how it was all gin.
Oh, for fuck's sake, not the gym again.
3 minutes? 3 minutes, that's perfect. But yeah, what we're going to do, we'll just jump into the news. We'll just get on with this month because we may not be doing well, but this month was actually really good for gaming news. There's a lot that happened in this month. We'll start off with something that happened at the tail end of January.
Yeah.
But, we didn't talk about it because of when we recorded. So it probably requires a little bit of conversation. Not a lot, but there was a PlayStation State of Play.
It's real classic us to record and then in the next day they go, "Oh, do you want some news?" Like, fucker. We could have done with that.
Could have really done with that back in
It would
January.
have been good.
Yeah. Back in January. That would have been great.
We're here being like, "Oh yeah, they're advertising Suicide Squad. What that's about?" And then the next week,
They go,
"Do you want to stay at play?" Fuck you.
I mean, this month was insane for
So much.
State of Plays, Directs, everything. It just felt like every week we were getting something new, which I'm not going to complain about because I like the.
It's that first release bomb of late March, April time, where they're putting all of the ads in now. So remember there's games coming out. Buy our games.
It's. I like how this is going with E3 basically dead in the water. It's gone, isn't it? I know IGN are meant to be doing their own thing now, but we're not going to talk about that. But now there's going to be a lot more virtual directs by the main publishers and maybe which is what they've done. Here's the partner showcase. This is the things our friends are working on, which is really good. So PS Direct happened at the end of January. And overall, a really good direct,
good.
State of Play, not direct.
I'm normally very positive on these because I just like games. But it's one of those ones where I came out of it and went, I liked all of that.
Bar one. Yeah, that was it. It was literally a really good one where everything looked good and you're like, oh, that's interesting, that's fun. Oh, I forgot this was coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, this is coming out. This looks shit. But everything else is great.
Even the one, I was like, I wasn't immediately like, this is going to be terrible. Like, you have with some of them, you see a game, you're like, no.
Yeah.
But I was like, whatever.
I mean, that's it. It was like, I don't know. I think that one was bad. So, that one. The one that I think stands out as the bad part of the showcase, which a lot of people already discussed in great detail, and a lot of people do talk about, is Silent Hill 2 Remake, where they seem to have gone a far more action heavy, and there's a bit of issues there. But the developers have come out and said that actually it's not that way. That's the way that Konami have tried to display how this game's going to be.
It's like a bad look for the game.
They said that's not what you should be expecting from this. But I have no faith in the studio making it anyway. They only make bad games.
I think they make perfectly okay games, but the problem is the expectations for this are so high.
The Blair Witch Project?
Well, they made the Layers of Fear games, which people generally think are fine. They made the Medium, which was fine.
It was bad.
It's a lot of... The only problem with this is, those games had no expectations.
So
they came out, and when they're fine, that's fine.
Yeah.
This has such monumental expectations that if it just comes out and is fine, it's going to be crowned as King of Shit Mountain.
What was interesting, obviously, they made the Medium, and then they've I know they didn't make the because they shadow dropped the new Silent Hill game at the same
Yeah.
time, which is actually on our YouTube with me playing the whole way through.
Yeah.
And I felt that game was very similar to The Medium.
Yeah.
Like you're walking through and, oh, there's a weird creature now chasing you, now run away. Like instead of it being, it was like, they're like moths in The Medium.
Yeah.
It was like a cherry blossom head creature. That it was a bit, and that was a bit pants. And that was weird because I was really excited for this like
Yeah.
free like episodic game. It's like, oh, that's cool, and then it just fell flat. So Silent Hill, a bit disappointing, but there were some big highlights in there. Was there anything that really stood out for you, Darren? Or...
Fucking Stellar Blade appearing from out of the mists.
And going, hey, we're coming out in 2 months, 3 months time.
It came about and it was like, oh, this is that game that got announced in 2021 and we've heard literally nothing about since. And it was like, oh look, it's now a fully realised game. It's complete. It's coming out in April. Like, fuck yeah.
It seems like it's changed vibes a little bit as well, which was interesting. So it came out, it looked like it was going to be sort of like a Souls-like Bayonetta thing in space. And now it feels almost more like a... what's the one with 2B?
Nier Automata. It's got a bit of a Nier Automata vibe.
It's got very much a Nier vibe in there, which is fun. But I really like the look of it, something different. Got a lot of Death Stranding 2 at the end of it, which was a really fun sort of cinematic. Dave the Diver coming.
I'm very excited about Dave the Diver.
You got Dragon's Dogma mentioned.
Yeah.
You've got Rise of the Ronin, which we all know is coming out. Helldiver's got his own little thing. The ones that were a bit more like out there was we actually got to see Judas again, which
looks really good.
Into the ether, which is obviously the guy who made Bioshock.
Yeah.
His new game, which
Hey, it looks good.
That's very cool.
I'm excited for it.
massively delayed because of the procedural choice thing that they're making in there where you make a decision and should change the outcome of the game and you get different.
wow,
Yeah, but it's
okay.
meant to be years.
I think it's trying to like build upon that.
Yeah.
Because Bioshock did a lot of that quietly with like the little sister thing. And I think they're just trying to build the next version of that.
Yeah.
My favourite version of that recently has been in Dishonored, where like if you kill people, the more people you kill, the more like downrun the city gets. There's more rats everywhere, guards are on more high alert. It's like it fully changes the environment and then it changes the ending entirely. But it'd be good if they did something like that.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see how it works because they've been hyping up for so long. It's going to be very hard for them to not fall flat. And then obviously the Until Dawn remaster as well was announced.
Don't need it. Might buy it anyway.
I imagine you were quite interested by that, Gareth, because you've not really, because you like the Quarry.
I do, yeah. I do like those that game and those type of games. So yeah, no, I am quite interested in it. The only thing is, I kind of wish that it was like a new title rather than a remake master of something else. If I'm honest,
It's definitely tied in because they've got the TV series or the film coming out.
Yeah.
I also think it's a bit of they haven't really had a smash hit since.
No.
So like maybe we can just sell Until Dawn again.
Although a lot of people will say the Quarry is great. A lot of people wrote it off very quickly. The Quarry, didn't they?
Yeah, a lot of people like The Quarry, and you have defenders for like every one of their games. There are people who love Man of Medan. There are people who love Little Hope. There are people who love House of Ashes, Devil in Me. Like none of them are as big a smash hit as Until Dawn.
No, definitely not.
They all have their defenders.
I think also Until Dawn really helped. They had like those sort of stars that had not quite burst onto the scene as well, and so it all just felt really fresh.
I would have liked something new from them because I'm excited about it and I'll play it, but the problem is it's always that thing of like, oh well, not only have I played it before, but it's not as if it's like a really old game, so it's not like with the remasters of like something else which you haven't played for ages. It's like,
I did go back and actually platinum Until Dawn last year or earlier this year or something like. I think it was last year. Yeah. And it is clunky compared to what it is in the Quarry. So it would be nice to play it on a like faster frame rate.
I do also think it's difficult to re-release a game that's that heavily based on not knowing what your choices do.
Yeah. Was PS3 originally, wasn't it?
No, it's early PS4.
Was it the first PS4?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So maybe it's done, but obviously they announced all that. Then they came out and it was announced about how games were coming out for PlayStation as well, that we aren't going to get any new games ever, apparently, is how
there are no new
internet took
games.
it.
Yeah, people can't read. That's the news story of the day. Because everyone, of course, has to do their big financial reports and say, we're planning to release this, we're planning to release this. And PlayStation came out and said, we are not releasing any existing franchise first-party titles. Which basically means, for an existing franchise, there will not be a new game.
So you will not get a new God of War this year. You will not
Yeah.
get a new Last of Us this year.
Yeah.
You may get a completely new IP by Bend Studio. You
Exactly.
may get all these partner games. You're going to get games.
People didn't read the bit that says existing franchise. So everyone was all like, "Oh my god, PlayStation aren't releasing any first party titles this year." To which you then had to go in and be like, "No, idiot. There's just nothing that exists." I saw someone complaining, and they were like, "If we're not getting any first party titles, what the fuck have Ben Studio been doing this whole time? It's like making a new IP."
I mean,
Read.
what Ben Studio are doing is they got taken away from Days Gone wrongly, unjustly,
Got told they weren't allowed to make Days Gone 2.
and everyone went mental who actually liked it. All 12 of us were
Yeah.
very upset.
All 12 of us. Power to the people.
It's such a good game that is sort
It's
of
good fun.
like, that
Yeah.
fell apart. But I mean, I can sort of see why when you then go, oh no sort of existing franchises are going to be in this, and you get something dropped like the Suicide Squad, and you
Yeah.
have to deal with the shit that was. You're thinking maybe we should get the existing
there,
ones.
there were a couple of ones where I thought maybe that would have a game upcoming.
Yeah.
That I'm like, if it's not coming this year, that's a shame, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like I thought we're maybe around the time for a new Ratchet and Clank again.
Yeah,
And that's not coming this year, which is like, okay.
that's fine.
I don't have to pay attention to that now.
It works. It works. I mean, I don't think there's anything else. Like, oh, I hope this comes out. There's enough interesting games coming. So why be concerned about
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
There are some bad games coming.
But yeah.
And some bad games came out. No one played it.
So at the close of the last episode, I said, don't buy Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And it turns out
Nobody did.
I was right. I have influence. My Instagram would not suggest so.
What's that? Correlation does not prove causation.
Causation,
Yeah, something along those lines.
No,
yeah.
I said it, so it happened.
But yeah, it's fallen flat. I mean, its concurrent player base at the point of recording now is lower than Helldivers 1. It's lower than
The Arkham games.
The Arkham games. And generally, every review I've read is shitting on it. It's just devoid of life, fun, and anything else. And I can't remember, was it Warner Brothers that came out and said, this has fallen short of our expectations.
Yeah.
And
What they
I'll be
had-
honest, it fell completely
Fucking
where
head in the
expected.
sand.
I just don't understand what they were thinking, man.
It is just... There is a worry that I've seen a lot of people who played outside of reviews have said that, you can see how there was once a fun game in here
Yeah.
that's just, ballooned out into being overly bloated,
Yeah.
having too dragged out, not having a lot to it. It's like, oh, that's a shame. I
Yeah.
wanted Rocksteady to make something good.
I did as well. I mean, it's a problem with studios just getting too involved with the products and not knowing what they need to do. But then some studios do know what to do with their products and maybe expand them into other markets
Maybe.
because
Put them on other
they do it.
consoles.
So that was the big thing this month, I think, for Xbox, was announcing that, because everyone heard rumours that all of their first-party games
Yeah.
that they've made were going onto every console. Turns out that's not quite right.
No, that would've been cool,
It would have been
but no.
cool. We're getting 4 games from Xbox going onto other consoles, with them being Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded, Sea of Thieves, and
Pentiment.
Pentiment? Pentinent. I don't know how to
Penta
say.
something.
I want to say penitent, but that's not. It's
Yeah.
definitely
I
not
think
what
it's
it is.
Pentiment.
It definitely is that. It's not what I've been saying. But they're going to be coming out onto different consoles, well, PlayStation and Switch, over the course of this financial year, I
Yeah.
think is the idea. So I don't know if it has happened yet, but I think Pentiment is already out on different
so,
consoles.
yeah.
Grounded is coming shortly. Sea of Thieves, I think, is middle of the year they're aiming for. And Hi-Fi Rush, they haven't given a date, but it's meant to be coming out with the Switch 2, which has been delayed, obviously,
Has been
to
delayed, yeah.
March next year, because I don't think the Switch can handle Hi-Fi Rush.
Wouldn't shock me if it could.
Which is shocking. It is shocking, because the Hi-Fi Rush is not looking like a highly intensive game, but it obviously is. And so I don't know if it's going to be released on PlayStation at the same time. But it's exciting that games are now being spread, and they're sort of saying these are ones that have reached the end of really the financial life cycle on our platform, so we're now expanding it past, which I think is a good
clever.
model. It's a good model.
Nice, yeah. I
That's
think
very clever.
I don't see why a lot. I suppose PlayStation are doing it, but with PC,
Yeah.
especially, it's like, everyone on PlayStation's bought it, so fucking Steam,
You can have it
Yeah.
there, yeah.
throw it to the dogs.
and it works. I mean, I see what they're doing. I mean, everyone thought that this was them going, look, we're moving away from hardware, but it turns out they're still going to be making Xboxes as well going forward into the
I
future.
still maintain they're moving away from hardware.
Yeah.
I just don't see how that business model is contingent with hardware production.
No.
Yeah.
They sold the Xbox like a fucking phone contract. You bought it with 2 years of Game Pass on a monthly payment scheme. That is a phone.
It is, and I mean, you look at the sales of them. I mean, there's varying reports. Some are saying like it's the PlayStation outsold Xbox 2-1. Some are saying 3-1.
Yeah.
It's not clear, but PlayStation is the console to own.
Yeah.
Is pretty much where it is. But if you look at Game Pass subscriptions, it's matching.
Yeah.
If not, it's around the same sort of
the
thing.
difference in product. Like PlayStation sell a console and then sell games for that console. Xbox sell Game Pass and then a Game Pass box.
Yeah, that's it. And as we said, Switch 2 is going later, so they're also struggling with their hardware, which is only a PS4 level.
Yeah,
But who cares?
Doesn't need to be more.
Who cares?
If you're buying a Nintendo console to play modern AAA like titles, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, and from their new Direct, it looks like they struggle with the old ones. 'Cause
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? Kingdom Come
Kingdom Come
Deliverance, and it doesn't look like it's going to run.
If you want the most like up-to-date modern multi-platform titles and you buy a Switch, that's just poor decision making.
Yeah.
Like that's not on Nintendo, that's on you.
It is. It's
Buy a PlayStation, fuck it out.
It's crazy. I mean, I know Switch is nice and things like that, but it's people wanting the handheld sort of aspect of it. But the amount of people I know who play Switch actually handheld is so slim because it's still bulky and heavy. If you want to do that, people are buying a Steam Deck because I know it only costs like £100 more as well. It's not even like a massive upset for so much more hardware. But yeah, it was doesn't go close to that, but there was a state of play or a direct for Nintendo, and there was some interesting announcements
stuff,
there.
yeah.
Some stuff you're like, oh, okay, that's in there. That's fine. I'd say there's probably maybe 3 to 5 big announcements. Would you say?
Yeah, I think so.
I think the biggest one for you, Darren, was probably the Star Wars.
Star Wars Battlefront's coming back. I like how EA worked out they couldn't make Star Wars Battlefront good. So they went, fuck it, old ones.
Yeah,
And to be fair, you launched the old ones with all the content, trophies, 64-player multiplayer.
Yeah.
on all
Fuck
maps.
yeah. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
So they got all the hero modes on all the maps now
Yeah.
as well.
That used to be locked to one map. It's now on all of them.
And it's coming to all platforms next month as well, like
Oh,
March
that's very
14th.
cool.
Literally
Sign me up.
It's just like, hey, we've actually been making this in the background. You didn't know about it. Haha. 3 weeks
Yeah.
time. Have good
Yeah.
fun. Have good fun. So that was cool. I thought Star Wars Battlefront was one of the big ones. I think Epic Mickey Rebrush is probably a big fan favourite because it's a good fun game.
I count that as one of the original games that passed me by back in like 2010.
Those original games,
Where I
yeah.
thought like, oh, that looks fun, and just never picked it up. But I always heard good things, so it is exciting to see it come back around. I wonder if they'll do the sequel as well.
We'll see. We'll have to see about that.
Yeah.
What were the other ones that you sort of thought were big there? I think the Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble, the fact we get another Super Monkey Ball game.
Hell yeah.
I mean, Super Monkey Ball's great.
It's good fun.
That's a
it's
fucking hell of a name.
It's literally a monkey called A.
There's Aye,
that's it.
Mimi.
And they basically run
can't
random
remember
balls.
the other
But
one's
it's going to be a 16-person, almost battle royale thing online
Hell yeah.
on Switch only as well, which is one of the only Switch only titles that were announced here. But yeah, Sega went, only Switch are allowed this game for some reason. Who knows? Who knows why? I thought it was another big game that you thought was...
I've got another like 2 or 3.
Yeah, which were...
Shin Megami Tensei 5 is getting
Obviously.
its, I think it's called Vengeance Edition,
Right.
which is Atlas doing Atlas things.
Yep.
For those who
There it is.
don't know what that game is. Shin Megami Tensei is the game from which Persona spun off.
Yep.
And it's essentially Persona if it were a dungeon crawler rather than a life sim /
Dungeon
crime
crawler.
fight. But that's coming out on all platforms now instead of being Switch exclusive, which is cool. Fantasy Life, I'm vaguely into. That's like a sort of Harvest Moon, Stardew-esque thing, but it's got a lot more focus on combat and RPG mechanics, which would be cool. And then,
Not Snufkin, Melody of Moomin Valley, or whatever it is. Isn't that a similar stuff?
I mean, I'm not into that. My partner Lauren is very into that and will be buying it. The other one for me was Unicorn Overlord,
Yeah,
which
tactical.
I don't know much about. It's a tactical game, but it's made by Vanillaware, who don't miss.
And it all looks hand-drawn the whole way through, which it does look amazing.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't feel like it's the game mechanics for me.
Vanillaware's last big game was 13 Sentinels,
Oh,
which
right,
anyone
yes.
who's played it says it's one of the greatest things I've ever played, and that is a trend with Vanillaware. They just release bangers
But
that
they're like-
nobody plays.
I guess nobody plays, but make enough money to then make the next
Yeah.
banger. Cool.
Real niche bangers is all they do. They do. They release a game that 5 people play, and all 5 people go, "This is one of the greatest things I've ever played." And then 5 years later, they do that again.
Which, I mean, I think the idea of something releasing into obscurity but being pretty good is pretty much what happened with this direct as well.
Yeah,
'Cause
pretty much.
What was it, an hour later?
Hour
Elden
later.
Ring's DLC video
Yeah.
came out, and the internet lost their mind.
Looks incredible.
Rightly so. Coming in June this
so
year.
good.
Expensive as fuck. £40 for a DLC.
Yeah.
Which is the base game. I think I spent £40 on that base game.
Yeah.
On day of release. They released a collector's edition with this, which has like a statue and all sorts. That's 250 quid.
yeah.
I went, I'm not doing that, but I will be getting this DLC. It
Yeah.
looks incredible.
It looks great.
Everything. I was like, what the fuck? I was watching it with the chat in YouTube, so you can see people going there. And normally you got people just like shitting on whatever's going there. 'Cause you
Yeah.
normally got, like, everyone's like, oh my god, what's this? What's happening here? This is probably this bit.
Yeah.
And it's like people go, this is this law, maybe this law. And they were all going
this shit
mental.
Yeah.
until
Like,
time, like.
it was
I love
just incredible. And it's a brilliant, like, 3-minute thing. And I was like, this is all it needs to be. Disappointed it wasn't February like we expected it to be, but June is
June's
great.
good.
June is good.
Yeah.
June is good. Because we thought it was going to be an anniversary of its initial release, but you know what? This is the reason why it's taken so long. They've
Yeah.
built a lot of content.
We got
into it.
basically like the anniversary of its release for the announcement.
Yes, yeah,
Just
that's
come out a few months later.
I think it's good. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll
Yeah.
be buying it and revisiting the entirety of Elden Ring alongside it, which will be good fun.
Be a really good time.
But with that, there is some news that we know is going to come out immediately after we release this episode,
Yeah.
like the day after.
Yep.
as
I think
always
I think
the
it's
way.
one day after
One day
release.
after, there's going to be a Pokemon Direct,
Yes!
which should be very exciting.
I'm buzzing for it. Absolutely buzzing for it.
There's a lot of speculation about what there might be there, what's going on there. The big one, which I think is pretty much confirmed, all but confirmed.
Yeah.
You'd think, but Nintendo are weird.
Yeah.
Well, Game Freak are weird. They
Yeah.
do what they want. Is potentially a Silver and Gold remake in some format.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
Did you?
I'm just getting it up now because there's a few things that have been said that are kind of like, I mean, they are just rumours at this point. But they are looking at doing like a Let's Go Mario. So
Nice.
I like
it's
that.
looking like it will be, you know, like Let's Go Pikachu was kind of like a remake of Yellow. This looks like it's going to be more of a remake of like your Silver, Gold, Crystal. Which I'm really excited for because speaking of bangers, Crystal was a fucking banger.
it was.
so
I
good.
think it's the best Pokemon game.
I think it'd be really funny if they kept up like Let's Go Pikachu is obviously Pikachu is the box mascot of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yellow, and they do like Let's Go fucking Suicune for Crystal. It's just a legendary like hello.
I just don't
On
know
your shoulder.
Who is the? I suppose that's the question. If they're doing a Let's Go, you said Let's Go Marill.
Mm-hmm.
I would be shocked if it's Marill, but is it? Do you think Marill is the poster child of these ones?
It sort of is.
Yeah, I remember Marill being very, very
Like,
Oh.
if this is
Actually,
a
is-
fake announcement, it's very charming because Marill was the first, like, believed
Yeah.
hoax Pokemon.
Is Togepi a Gen
Well,
2?
this
Because
is
that
the
would be
problem,
the.
is that this is what has been said now, is that, like, obviously at one point there was this rumour that there was going to be a Let's Go Togepi and a Let's Go Wooper.
Oh, okay.
But that never came to be.
Wooper would be a great. I love Wooper.
That would be great because Wooper's awesome.
Wooper's the best.
But and that never came to fruition. So a lot of people are like, it would be great, it would be amazing, but like, is it gonna happen? According to leaks, there is the Kanto post game. Like held items will be introduced reintroduced as well, and you can kind of the trades can happen that will bring in different forms
That's-
of Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's all we want. I mean, I'm not being funny. I've sort of fallen out of Pokemon for a little while, but if they
Yeah.
go, here's a Let's Go, and I'm doing my favourite, I'm going back in,
Yeah.
and I will
100%.
collect everything.
So my favourite Pokemon from the
It
gen.
will literally get everyone who is old and nostalgic about Pokemon back in,
Yeah.
and it will make so much stupid money. And
Yeah,
we're
I mean
all
the thing
cheap.
is, with me, if it's Pokemon, I'll fucking get it
Yeah,
because
same.
I love it.
Sorry, we're all Mareeps, not sheep.
We are Marines, yeah.
We are.
Good shout.
But that's one that I really do hope that it's true. Just because I really like the Let's Go game as well. Like, probably because I enjoyed Yellow so much as a kid, it was really nostalgic. But they really did a good job of the nostalgia.
When was the last main title game? Was that last year or the year before? It was last year.
Scarlet and Violet, so I think it was last year.
No.
Year before.
Year before it was the DLC last year. So he may be in line for another mainline.
I now remember my years by Game of the Year lists.
Right, brilliant. Yeah, because
It wasn't in Karis's last one, it was in the one before.
But it feels like they are potentially due another mainline Pokemon
Yeah.
game, so we may be getting
Now
that
that to release in fall this year.
Because I wouldn't be shocked if we get like a Let's Go in the summer and then a main one for
Yeah.
Christmas, because that's what they love to do. They
Yeah.
love to do.
And also, because they made a joke about it in an intro like a year ago, furries canon. Making furries canon in Pokemon.
Oh, furries.
Yeah.
I thought you said fairies.
Nope, that's already a type.
As well, I was like, what?
No, make furries canon.
Fair enough.
That's the announcement.
But that's the news of last month and what's going to come out just last February.
Yeah.
But what have you been doing? What have you been playing during that month of February? Anyone?
Everything.
Well, look, you've been playing everything, Darren.
Yeah.
Karis?
I've just jumped back into The Last of Us Part 1 again. And yeah, I really enjoy it. It's very frustrating at times. And
Yes.
I have rage quit a few times, but yeah, very good. Very good.
It's one of those games that punishes you if you stop playing for a little while because you forget all the stuff.
Then you fuck then.
Then clickers just get you non-stop.
Yeah.
They do.
But yeah, I'm waiting for you to finish it so we can.
Generally fucking scary, that game, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the clickers freak me right out.
Once you're done, we'll
Right
watch the series of season 1, and then
Okay.
we can And also that you're at the point now where no real. I mean spoilers, but they've just got to the building.
Yeah, they
and-
got out of the sewers.
Is it Tess? There's been a revelation about
Right.
Tess.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we all know where Karis is
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And she's just about to get into the meat and bones of the game.
Yeah.
Yep. The funny part of that initially was when you went, they've just got to the building. Like, that game is all fucking blocks. Which one do you mean?
I was trying to remember what it was the Capitol building, isn't it?
Yeah. I was like, do you mean the university? Do you mean...
No, Capitol building. So
Yeah.
you've been playing Last of Us Part 1.
Yes.
And getting frustrated you can't put anything else into Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah. I think because I haven't got the DLC, and there's little updates coming out and stuff like that. But like, I think because I haven't got the DLC,
Not
it's
enough dreams.
Yeah, it's not the same. So I do
But there
need
is
to actually invest.
But there is a Monsters Inc.
There is a
update
Monsters
coming.
That's
Inc.
pretty
coming
sick.
out
I like
as
that.
well. So yes, I need to dive back into that when I get the DLC. Really.
So going from playing a little bit to a lot of it.
Hi, I'm going to quick run everything I plan this month. And then maybe talk about something else depending on how long this takes. I planned 5 games this month. 5th is Metal Hellsinger, which is a rhythm-based first-person shooter.
It was on PS Plus last
It was on
month.
PS Plus a couple months ago, I
Oh, it was a
think.
month before, was it?
It's basically the idea is you get more damage for hitting on the beat, and different weapons have different ties to the beat. So the one I got most attached to was the shotgun, where you have to reload after every shot. So essentially like beat to shoot, beat, reload, beat, shoot, beat, reload. So you get into a nice pattern with it. Whereas you have like revolvers, which are every beat, and that's fucking impossible to keep the beat with. But that game's fun. It runs out of steam really bad towards the end because there are 8 or 9 levels. You've seen every weapon by level 4 and every enemy by level 5. So you're just sort of churning out after that. But it's good fun. 4 is Hard Space Shipbreaker, my championed game from last month. That game's fucking fun. It's real complex. There's bits of it where you're trying to work out how do I detach this in such a way that A, I don't break an airlock and jettison everything into the void, and B, don't blow myself up, which I did a few times. But then it does also really nicely recreate the monotony of what that job would be.
Yeah.
Like there was, I think about the 2/3 mark, I got to these final class of ships. One of them was like a passenger liner. So I had to take every chair out individually and throw it to the barge. And I'm like, fucking chairs. And I think I finished a day, reloaded the next day, came up to it, and I just opened the front and all I could see was chairs. I'm like, fucking chairs. But that's good fun. It suffers from the same thing. It's a bit monotonous, but I think that's sort of its point. Third is Tymesia, a sort of Plague-inspired Souls-like.
Which was also on PS Plus last year.
While ago, yeah.
Last year.
It's got more of a parry-heavy gameplay style. those parries are quite hard to do. You have to preempt it a bit and hit in a certain window. But
I definitely struggled with this. I mean, I only played a little bit of it, but like the first boss beat the living hell out of me. But he's meant to. Anyway.
he's meant to.
Yeah.
But it plays super fluidly. There's a lot of like variety in. They're called plague weapons. You can steal them from enemies, or you can gain them from defeating enough of that type. It fits that Neo style of Souls-like, which I like, where it has 3 levels, and each one has like side levels in it.
Right.
And you go from essentially like a world map screen instead of this progressive thing, which I'm quite fond of because I don't get lost. But that's a really good game. Second was AC Mirage. What a fucking return to form.
Isn't it? It's so good.
It's so good. It just feels like I'm playing 2 again. But in the more expansive, more refined world of these.
I want to get you on that,
Valhallas.
Chris, actually, AC Mirage. I feel like it's a game you'd enjoy. It's
Really strong.
It's a good sort of introduction, I think, into those big open world collector things. Like, it's not too overwhelming. You sort of still have a clear purpose and things like that. So, yeah.
And there was some story beats towards the end where I was genuinely like, what the fuck?
Yep.
What's going on here? And then my number 1 platinum game, we will talk about next time.
Ooh.
But I will just quickly jump on the other thing I've been playing, which is Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Fun.
What a charming little game.
Lovely time.
There's a lot of it where you're like, this is getting very over my head with the amount of shit I have to build and how I have to line things up. And there's the area I'm in currently is just enemies spawn like every 2 minutes and start attacking. I'm like, this is a struggle. But it's really nice. It's got a really sort of charming, cutesy vibe to it. And it's just a lot of fun. I can see the platinum being hard, but I'll do it because I hate myself.
It's a Switch game. It's a Switch game through and through that. I've got 3 platinums this month, but I'm not going to talk about them. Well, actually, I'll say Tear Down, fine.
It's fun. Yeah.
Dark Souls 2, not fun. But actually, not as bad as I thought it would be. An easier platinum grind than maybe the first one.
Yeah.
And then I also did a game called Telling Lies, which is like a weird sort of FBI on a computer with lots of videos from actual actors. Who knows why? But what I will talk about is one game that I've been enjoying with playing online is Remnant 2. I've been playing a lot of that recently. Very much enjoying it. Good fun time. Beat the boss. Some of the best boss designs I've ever played. Really enjoyed it. Every single one, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then immediately die and need to be rezzed. But it's good. It's good stuff. What I'm going to talk about is brand new game titles that have come out this month, because I've got 4 new games that have come out this month. Actually, three. I won't talk about Foam Stars. Actually, I will talk about Foam Stars because it's probably not going to come up later. It's fine. It's not that great. It's Splatoon.
We have Splatoon at home.
It's fine. Unless you're playing with other people, you're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And talking of playing with other people, or you're not going to enjoy it, Helldivers 2.
It's so good.
Helldivers 2. Do your part for Super Earth. It is so much fun. It's so much fun.
It looks phenomenal.
One of the games recently that took me the most off guard with how much I thought I'd be into it versus how much fucking fun it actually is. It's just, it feels great to play, but also in a way of like, if you blow yourself up, you're not mad. You're just like, yeah.
Oh, it happens.
Help.
It happens. You're like, hey, I'm dead. Someone else kills you. You're like, oh, well, we're all trying our best here.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. There are some idiots out there. I mean, we say that me and Darren played the other night, and as we were exfilling, I managed to get on the Pelican, and our friend decided to bomb the hell out of the
I got
fucking
airstruck on the ramp of the exfil vehicle.
With him, the other guy next to him, who just threw it directly at his own feet and left like an idiot.
I was like, okay, that's cool. I didn't want the XP anyway.
So there are idiots. It's fine. It's good, but like you go in there as multiplayers. There was a lot of issues with the servers early on, and we thought, oh no, it's not going to work. And everyone was like, how dare they not plan for this? They're like, the last game had 7,000 concurrent players. This is 700,000. And then everyone go, buy more servers. They went, that's not the solution.
No.
Random man in an armchair who doesn't know fucking shit about games. It's actually, there's a problem with the code. They fixed the code now, and there are hundreds of thousands of people playing concurrently, and it is great to see everyone. The toxicity is now changed. There are a lot of idiot streamers who are giving the wrong information out to people and showing how to make solo builds. But it's not a solo game.
No.
You need to work with your partners to do stuff, and this is where the issues are falling.
I also saw a news article which was like Helldivers 2 players are killing each other for loot despite 20 UI elements telling you it's shared.
Yeah, literally, you pick it up as long as that person else, you all get it. And the person's like, I want this. Someone literally shot me in the back in a game where I was the host to take it to try and get the thing. I just kicked him.
Yeah.
Like, well, you're not having it.
Yeah.
Because you're being an idiot.
But we all get it.
I was like, we're all getting it. You're just being fucking toxic at the point. And
everyone gets it, except when you're the one carrying it and you get airstruck on the ramp of the exfil vehicle, and then nobody gets it.
It's stupid. But yeah, good fun. It's
such a great time.
But do your part. Deal with the automatons, not just the bugs.
Yeah.
Be a good person fighting for
Defend.
us. Yeah, because Super Earth released the Terminators as an excuse
did.
to invade other planets. Watch the Broadcast, people. Don't be a sheep. That's one game we've been playing.
I also want to briefly comment that all of the Steam comments are people who are really mad that it's an obvious satire of like that level of invasion and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
attempting colonialism, and people are not getting the joke.
There are people who are not getting the joke. There's like reviews going, "This is too colonial." Like that's the whole
point.
But this is the same thing when Starship Troopers came out. People didn't understand it was a satire.
But it's also like the opposite end of that, and the same type of people who think Rage Against the Machine are on their side.
yes,
Yeah.
It's got that sort of commentary as well, where people are like, "Oh, why are they like adding all this shit to it?" It's like because it's obviously a joke.
It's obviously a joke.
It's so satirical.
It's
What
so
the
good.
fuck?
So good. So that was the first game I played this month. The
Yep.
other one, Persona 3 Reload. Oh my god,
I want to play this so bad.
what a great game. I feel like I'm back playing Persona 5. I'm loving it. loving it. I'm currently in the grind phase, trying to get enough cash.
Hell yeah.
It's stuff like that which annoys me in this game, where it's like, oh, you just didn't get enough because there's lots of RNG drops, so best
Yeah.
of luck. You're like, oh god, I just need some stuff. So just running through a dungeon over and over
Yeah.
again. But the whole game, it has that same charm. The music's not as good as 5.
No,
5's music
nothing is.
really good. But I can see how the characters are. Some of them I don't like as much. I don't like this as much as 5, but it's scratching that itch. It makes it feel like I'm back playing Persona, and I am playing Persona, but it feels like, I don't feel like I'm getting anything wrong. It feels like a new story within it.
Yeah.
I don't feel tired of the same characters. It's not like, hey, I'm going to play through the entirety of 5 again with Royale because I already know all the beats there.
Yeah.
This is something new.
I do want to get into this because I just could do with a different Persona, basically. But I do think it's fun that they are going back to these, because there are people who, despite 5 being so phenomenal,
Yeah.
there are people who still are like 3 is the best one, 4 is the best one. We don't think about 1 and 2.
No, and I haven't had a chance to play anything apart from 5, so this is really cool to get to revisit it. So that was a lot of fun, and then I bought Skull and Bones, and I don't really want to play it. That's the problem. It's fine. Like there's some good fun ship combat, but like it's so much focus on being in parties and group ups, and no one's playing
playing
the
it.
game, and it took so long. It was always going to be disappointing, and it is, and it doesn't. It looks like a game that looks worse than AC Black Flag. And you're like, that game came out
Yeah.
PS3,
PS3.
PS3.
Late PS3.
Yes,
but I don't know.
PS3.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm remembering it being better than it is. But like, it just. I think I might be thinking of like the remastered, upgraded
Yeah.
thing, but like it doesn't feel as good. It doesn't look as good as that. It's a shame.
It
It's
got,
a shame.
I think, joint released on 3 and 4, because after that was then they released Rogue for 3 and Unity for 4
Yeah.
to like split the gens. But I think 4 came out on both, but it definitely was on PS3 because that's where I had it.
So if you are thinking about getting it, don't just wait for Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, but also unfortunately everything got fucking hell bombed by Helldivers. Being
Helldivers-
so good,
Helldivers was so good. It's killed the player base. there.
expected to be dropped and fall into the midst of it by, I think, everyone who bought it, everyone who made it, and everyone who distributed it thought it was going to be 10,
It looked
20k
looked-
concurrent.
It looked like the sort of game that there was nothing going to actually battle it for that sort of player
Yeah.
base, and then we were wrong.
It
They
just
were
took
wrong.
everything
Yeah. So Helldivers killed it.
Good.
Yeah, go play Helldivers, go play Persona,
for democracy.
and for democracy.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I feel like the intense eye contact you gave me when you
So
said that.
that's what
For
we've been
democracy.
playing. And should we have a look at the PS Plus lineup?
do
then? So PS Plus this month, good or bad?
Fucking great, lad.
I actually put good of bad, but good or bad.
It is the good of bad. No,
Yeah.
it's just good. It's great.
I think this is actually a really good.
Really happy
Yeah.
this month.
And
It is, again, a month of shit I've already played, but
It's-
I'm very happy that other people get to play it.
I like months like this, but it's got the same issue where you've got here's a Tales game, but here's all of the Tales games. It's like what was the last one? The Sword Art or something? I can't remember what it was.
Star Ocean. was the
Star
other
Ocean.
one.
You went, oh, did you like that one? Here you go. Here's 20 of them.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, great, but I don't like that one. Tough. That's what you're having. You will enjoy it, and whether you like it or not.
Mine is more of like, oh, you like that one Tales game? I'm like, yeah. Like, here's 3 more. Like, I do not have time.
Oh, if you look at the platinums, so they actually get longer and
They're
longer. The
huge.
older and older
Yeah.
they go, it's mental. But yeah, it's a good month. It's a good
Yeah.
month. There's I would say enough variety that you can find something you'll
It's got
enjoy.
a bit of everything.
Yeah, it's got
but
enough
a lot of tales.
Yeah, a lot of tales. It's got enough variety. There's a lot of JRPG. There's a lot of RPG, but there's like little bits of silly
Lego.
fun. There's Lego in there. There's Rollerdrome in there. It's like you get Steel Rise, you get your Souls like you get a touch of everything, which is really nice.
You even get a PSP game. What's that about?
Which one's that?
The Resistance.
Oh, the
Revolution.
Resistance was it? It's the PSP one.
Where are the other ones though?
Where are the other ones?
Sony, where are the other ones? Let me have them.
But yeah, we'll have a little look at the games that we each decided to champion.
Yeah.
Karis, do you want to go first on your champion game?
Yeah, just because mine's quite short and sweet, to be honest. I decided that I was going to champion Need for Speed Unbound. I kind of grew up with the Need for Speed games. And Need for Speed Underground was my jam.
It's the best one.
So this
I played it.
You never played Need for Speed Underground?
oh my god,
He's too young.
This feels a little bit
That sort of era.
undergroundy. Yeah.
My first Need for Speed was Hot Pursuit in 2010
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So me and my dad used to
when I was 14.
play Need for Speed.
Yeah, but you could have played it when you were 6.
Who knows?
Yeah, me and my dad played Need for Speed Underground back in like 2006 on the PS2, and it was great fun. And I don't think this is as good as Underground was. I think it's very, very hard to beat that game. It needs a good remaster. That one is the one that needs remaster.
I mean, I think Underground very much was of its era and of its time, and I think it was just that sort of culmination. All of the it's like when Fast and Furious came out. It was the same where it worked because it was that sort of like vibe and era of what we were doing. But
but it's Need for Speed. It's a racing game.
Yep.
So that's literally all there is to say. Need for Speed is really good fun. It's a good switch off game. It is,
This is a ridiculous amount of customization, if I'm aware, as well,
yes,
isn't it?
it's got a lot of like it's kind of prided itself as well on like being able to do like realistic graffiti art that's based on like
that's cool.
Things that
One of the
people have actually done.
collectibles is graffiti art sprayed on buildings that you can then put on your cars.
That's fun. Am I right in this one? I might be wrong. I can't remember if it's this game or a different game where you can customize your shoes.
I think that's this. There's definitely other ones that you can also do that. I know in Heat you can do that.
as well.
I assume you can do the same in this one.
Because I saw some they had some actual branded shoes in there, which was fun. It was really cool.
You said that the only problem with this game is the police.
Oh, in every contrary to the real world, in every Need for Speed game, the police get better at actually controlling the law. The problem in this is if you are caught by the police, seen in any way, you will be running away from the police for the next real-time 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you can't fucking shed them. Their cone of vision goes through the floor somehow.
Really?
Normally it's okay with bridges, but I was I think driving through a tunnel and someone drove over a highway over it and was like, I know where you are. I'm like, motherfucker, you cannot see me. But
my car is so loud. It's called a muffler.
But the only problem in this one is, especially in how difficult it is to shed the police, you have a certain amount of time. You have days and nights of the week, and at the end of the week, you have a big race. Continues the story, and you have to make a certain amount of money to enter the race.
Right.
But if you get busted by the police, you lose all your money for that day.
Right.
So if you have a few bad run-ins with the police back to back, as I have,
you can't do
you
the
get
race.
fucked. I just have nothing, and you have to sort of do smaller days to build up to it. But the game's also encouraging you to go on,
go at night.
do another couple races.
Yeah.
Hurry on. But this is more in line with Need for Speed Heat, which I think came out in 2018.
Yeah.
But it's a really fun time, a really good time.
Yeah.
I'm going to go next on mine, Darren, because I think
it.
you have a lot to talk about on your
I do,
one.
yeah.
So the game I'm going to be championing is The Outer Worlds. I mean, it's the collector's edition. What's it called? I think it's called the
Spacer's Choice.
Spacer's Choice.
That's what it is.
This is made by Obsidian, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which were the people who made Fallout 4.
No, New Vegas.
New Vegas, that's what I mean. New Vegas, the best of the Fallouts for me. But it's basically a Bethesda offshoot made these. It's very much that idea. If you like a Bethesda game, but like it looking a little better, then go Obsidian, is how I describe it. So this is set in an alternative future. I can give you an idea of what happens there. It's basically, instead of President McKinley being shot, he doesn't, so he survives. So Theodore Roosevelt never comes to power. And basically, there's the way that they expand, mega corporations occur because of how Roosevelt's checks and balances don't come in place, and we managed to terraform larger planets and
Yeah.
move forwards. So we're now set in the future where we're like in this 6-planet star system called the Halcyon system, and you wake up sort of as a stranger by some sort of mad scientist called is it Phineas Wells?
Something like that, yeah.
Phineas Vernon Wells.
Yes.
And then you get sent off, and you're basically then doing your own like common everyman. I've woken up, and now I'm going to fix everything. And it's a lot of fun. There's a huge amount of like replayability. You can romance a lot of the characters. You can get a load of people different on your ship, and I know you can go. You can make a different story each time. You can't really. It's the same as Bethesda. You can't really, but you get to see, and you can make different choices, and there are different outcomes because you don't help this organization, but you did help it last time. So you just got to see how those interact. It's a lot of fun. It's really good to look at, and I think having the complete collection with all the DLCs is a really good time to jump into it, really.
Like I went and platinumed all the base game on PS4, and I might go back into this and do it all again, just because I remember having a lot of fun with it. I think it got a lot of shit for not being quite as good as a New Vegas, but to be fair, what is? But I did like that this sort of went back to that, relying a lot more on stats. There's a lot of really dumb things to do with your stats you can do throughout. My favourite thing is there's a point where you need to, I think, jump warp from one planet to another at like the 3/4 mark.
Right.
And there's a trophy for this, but if your intelligence is low enough, you can try and do it yourself and fire yourself into the sun, which is just great. I love shit like that.
And they are good. I don't really think they do bad games, really. Obsidian. I was a little disappointed when they got basically bought into Bethesda, and then Bethesda got bought. I was like, well, this is the last title we're going to get on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
That's
goodbye.
a shame. That's a shame. And Darren, let's go talk about your 2,000-hour game.
Yeah, I had to weigh up two really heavily here. The other one will get a shout out, I think, in a minute.
The other one was the one I was weighing up against as well. So,
But this is Tales of Arise. It's my champion game, which is my 2020? One of those years, Game of the Year. 2021 Game of the Year. Because, of course, all the Tales games came out. The general structure of this is you start the game as Alphen, but you don't know his name is Alphen yet. He's just a man in a mask. And he's basically been enslaved by, like, this big tyrannical kingdom. And you meet a girl called Shion, I want to say her name is. This is very, like, I'm trying to piece out memories. But
he's in the Matrix. He's in the Matrix.
basically, where it starts is you try to escape. You're cornered by guards. You pull a giant flaming sword out of her, and then you are revealed as Alpha, and you've clearly lost all your memories, and you are progressing on from there to try and both take down these big kingdoms while also working out who are you, who is she, what the fuck's going on. You recruit your various friends you go on. There's, I think her name is Rinwell, who's a mage.
You're so much better with names than me. I literally never learn the names of the people I'm with. I just go, they look like that.
This is like, I picture the face and I hope the name comes to me.
Right.
But like, there's also a monk called Law, and I don't remember the other two at all. I could tell you bits about them, but I don't remember them.
Right.
One is a prince and one is a guard, but I don't remember their names.
That's fair. But this is like a massive JRPG.
Massive JRPG. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of, I think at one point you acquire a farm where you can just go back to every now and then and get materials. You have to recruit dogs to your farm. To a farm. But you get that. There's a whole like fishing sub-mini game. There's big dungeons to go through. There's side quest dungeons. There's so many side quests.
This is a game that you've offered up to me several times, but because I've had so many like RPGs on the go, it's like you need to only have this one RPG.
Yeah.
It's so big.
This is one where I always forget quite how much there is to it.
Yeah.
And like I've lent you as well, like Octopath, which I loved. But Octopath is very on its surface. That is the game that it is. There are little side quests, there are little side dungeons, but generally it is the game. With Tales of Arise, I always forget how much fucking game there is to this. And then when I start thinking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's all the side stuff, there's all the different places you can go, there's a whole cooking sub thing where you can make like 50 different dishes, and one of them's obsessed with cooking, so every time she'll comment on it. There's the whole fishing side thing. There's so much to this fucking game.
I might change my mind about where I'm putting this in my rankings now.
But it plays incredibly. It looks amazing. A lot of people complain about this one, that it's got a bit less sort of heart to it than the other ones. I could agree. The story weaves a bit, has a big moment, goes a bit flat for a bit, and then comes back.
Is there there's a DLC that's just come out for
DLC's
this?
just come out. I haven't played that
So
yet,
you
but it's
might-
on my list to pick up.
So it's one of those things that they've probably released in line with that, so you buy the DLC.
Yeah,
alongside
yeah.
it.
And I might go back to it again. I remember really enjoying it. I might not do everything again, because that
No, I
took
think
me...
you'd have to be insane to do that.
fucking
but
years
it
of
is,
my life,
It
but
is you, so
It's
who
an
knows?
incredible game.
So those are our championed games. Should we have a little look at our top 5 games you should be checking out this time on PS Plus? Coming in at number 5 is Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
That's a big fucking game.
Massive game. The second best of the open world ones.
I would agree.
Odyssey is the worst and
Yep.
Origins is the best.
Yep.
This game is unreasonably big, though.
It's too big.
It's too big, and there's lots of areas of big blank space you're just wandering through. It's got some nice bits with, I was going to say Ragnarok, but that's wrong. It's like where you go to the other world. The Vanheim?
Valhalla, surely.
Valhalla. Well, no, because I don't know if they go to I don't know if they went to different worlds or how it works.
I think
can't
you
remember.
just go to, like, heaven,
That's
basically.
heaven, yeah. Which makes sense. But it's fine. It's a good game. I got the platinum for it. I
Same,
spent
yeah.
too long getting the platinum for that, but it was alright. It was a good fun time.
As much as bits of it are a bit, like, superfluous, I also enjoy how much it just feels like you're rocking up into the goings-on of this kingdom. I think one of the areas you just help plan a wedding,
Yeah.
and that's all you do there.
It's good one. This one as well is that they switch your character gender at times because like they've found bones for this person that's the assassin, but they're not sure. They know it's an
Yeah.
assassin, but they're not sure much
So
more
you
about
can
it.
pick to be one or the other, or you
but
can
there's-
pick to switch.
And they sort of do it, which is I thought was a really fun.
It's
fun
interesting, yeah.
Mechanic. Rollerdrome is our number 4
Fucking Rollerdrome's
choice.
so good.
A lot of fun. It's I don't even know how to describe it. Cell shaded almost.
Yeah, it's got, if you took, like, I don't know how to describe it either.
cell shaded, but with like the classic old school gaming that almost feels like you're playing something
It's a more muted palette of a cel-shaded game.
where you're on rollerblades in like a death arena, jumping around shooting people, and there's snipers on you, and you're trying to get tricks and scores.
It's Tony
and stuff.
Hawk's if it were also a shooter.
It's the film Rollerdrome, isn't it?
Yeah, big sort of combo,
Rollerball is- I
high
think it's
score. You have to sort of work out your path around the map so that you're not getting hit by different enemies, but also you're keeping your combo going, you're getting tricks in. It's fucking great.
Good fun.
Really
Good
good.
fun. Number 3, Need for Speed Unbound, which we
Really
already
good.
discussed.
Yep.
Number 2, Tales of Arise, and
Yep.
then number 1, The Outer Worlds.
Yeah, all very good.
Which all good games. People looking at this probably go, Tales of Arise should be top, and they're probably right, but tough. That's how we voted for things. So
I think it's more niche.
it's more niche.
Yeah.
But probably more dedicated fan base, I would say.
Yeah, if I said, like, to anyone, I would probably say Outer Worlds is probably your shout.
Yeah.
If it was someone I knew was into the genre, I'd be like, yeah, fucking
Tales
Tales
of
of Arise.
Cool. And that is the PS Plus lineup.
It is.
So that is everything in February.
Yep.
Should we have a little look forward and think about what we're looking forward to coming up before we do our next month in review?
Yeah.
So what games are you looking forward to that are coming up soon?
Final Fantasy is out in less than a week.
Yeah, it's less than 7
I'm
days.
so excited. I have one day where I'm unemployed, and it's the day after Final Fantasy comes out.
So
I'm
you
just going to
just
sit
play
and play that shit all day.
That sounds like a
It's going to
great
be awesome.
day. Sounds like a great day. Is that the Friday you're doing all this?
Yeah, so it comes out on the Thursday,
And
and,
then
I'm
you play
unemployed
it.
on Friday. So I'm
Nice.
like, yeah.
And then you got all day Sunday to play it as well.
Exactly.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Karis, anything big that you're looking forward to?
I am quite looking forward to Princess Peach Showtime coming out.
It
next.
looks so good.
Comes out next month on the 22nd of March.
I'm also looking forward to the 22nd of March.
Why?
Because
Everything else.
3 games come out that day, and that's one of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, okay. Yeah, no, I'm really excited for it. I think it'll be it looks really fun.
Yeah, I remember
What's the
looking
style
at
of
it.
because I know it's Peach, but it's obviously not like a Mario style. I assume.
I think
Like,
it's quite close to that,
it?
yeah.
It's an action adventure, is what it's described as.
Yeah, it's got a bit of that sort of Kirby element to it, where there's a lot of like power-ups where you like have different like outfits or different forms with different
so
abilities
more
attached.
like a Mario Odyssey.
I don't know if it's side-scrolling. I don't remember.
Interesting.
I don't.
I'm looking forward to seeing what that is. Then I'm excited. But yes, 22nd. So I'm looking forward to ones that everyone's going to get. So everyone gets to have Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yep.
Which looks
Really good.
amazing. It looks like it's going to take over my life because of how big it is.
It's one of those where I can't help but feel like I love the idea of it, but it's not going to be my thing.
Yeah.
Just where I hear the guy talk about how like there's no fast travel because you should just enjoy the world, and like the quests are going to be huge. I'm like, bro, I get you're enthusiastic, but that does not sound like my kind of time.
No, it looks like an amazing, massive, open fantasy
A lot of heart to it.
RPG. A lot of heart to it. Looks like it's going to be difficult and it's going to beat your ass when you need to, which I'm really excited for. But the other one on that day, which I think me and Darren are both very excited for, is Rise of the Ronin.
Yeah.
Which looks amazing. PS5 only. Team Ninja.
Yeah.
Set in feudal Japan where you can fucking fly around. It's like Ghost of Tsushima, Assassin's Creed, plus Neo, all wrapped up into one little tight bow.
And I love that sort of time period they're going for as well. Like I enjoyed like Dragon Ishin last year, which is at the same sort of time period where the West have just come back in. So you have this sort of mixture of cultures, and there's guns starting to be introduced, but they're not widespread. It's just an interesting sort of time period to look at.
I'm going to watch some Blue Eye Samurai just before I play that game again. But yeah, that is what's coming up next month.
Yeah.
That is this episode. That is everything.
Yeah.
Just a quick shout out at the end of this episode. We didn't get to do it last time, but last month, talking of reflection last month, me and Darren showed up on another podcast. We showed up on High Scores, High Stakes.
We did.
On one of their side quest episodes. We were talking about our backlog games, which unsurprisingly me and Darren have a lot of backlog. It's a really good episode. Do check it out. But they are also releasing their season 3. Will have just dropped yesterday when this comes out. So do go give those boys a listen to. Yeah, High Scores, High Stakes. 4 boys fighting over stupid challenges in a game.
Yeah.
I don't know what this first one is going to be on because they haven't announced it yet.
No.
But yeah, they'll pick up a gaming challenge, try and compete to get the best times. And at the end of the season, they get a cup. So yeah, worth checking them out. Give them a good listen to, and you can also watch it because then you can see what they've actually done, which is good fun. Yeah, that's everything. Thank you as always for being our player 4s. If you've enjoyed this, do make sure to share and spread the news and
Spread the news.
Spread the news far and wide. And make sure you comment, give this a sort of a rating, anything like that. We do also stream on Twitch 3 times a week. On Mondays and Fridays we do legacy streams, which is at the moment Resident Evil for Keris, the Souls games for Josh, and Kingdom Hearts for Darren. And we also stream on Wednesdays the episode games as well. So if you want to listen to anything that we do on our fighting episodes, that is also on there. And if you have missed some and want to go back and check it, they are on YouTube as well. And all of this is at Discount Pod with 2 C's.
With 2 C's,
And you can also get it on our Instagram, which has all our information there. So check us out at Discount Pod, or Discount Josh, Discount Keris, or Discount Darren. And that is everything. Anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Have a good Final Fantasy, everyone.
Have a good Final Fantasy. Part 2 of 17.
Yep. I'll buy them all. I'll buy everyone.
Catch you all later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.